This Earth of yours will be reduced to a burned-out cinder.
Real wrath of God type stuff.
Biblical. No, not yet.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
I came here to give you these facts.
Dogs in camp, living together. Mass hysteria.
We're going to live on. Today, we celebrate.
Flabbergasted by the Audacity. Alright, how are you?
Alright. It's good. The weather's nice, finally. Can't complain. Felt like there was rain every fucking weekend, so the fact that it was nice last week and it was nice this week puts me in a better mood for sure.
Speaking of good weather, I have a theory.
Okay.
Alright. Now, you went through your stint of being a racist, right? You remember that?
I mean,
where you
stint
said you said immigrants should be slaves, right? You remember that?
I'm pretty sure I'm still racist, but sure, go ahead.
All right.
I only got lost a stint, but okay.
Now it's my turn. Okay.
Okay.
I have a theory. Okay. I think the sun makes people retarded.
Okay.
So I remember seeing this video a few years ago, probably around 2015, and maybe you've seen it too. It went viral. It's the surfer dude in LA. He's trying to describe his experience surfing and how much he loves it, and he can barely get a word out. He's like, and the waves come and you just go poof and bam, it's great.
Oh yeah,
bro.
I think I heard about that guy before.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, a story recently came out where I don't know if you remember, but Mr. Beast installed 100 wells in Africa.
Yeah.
That was a little over 6 months ago, and now none of them are functional because the villagers he installed them in, they didn't do any maintenance on them, so they just let them break pretty much. Yeah. And so I think it's a testament to how Africa just hasn't been developed because.
Well, it hasn't.
Supposedly humanity started there, so you'd think it'd be the most advanced spot, right?
Yeah, it's not.
No, so I think the sun
No, it's not.
makes people retarded because
okay.
it's a fact that in LA, prior to the last 10 years, the people would drop out of high school, and they would normally say like, it's so beautiful out, why would I be indoors learning shit?
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. See, that isn't very good. That part isn't very good.
I think sunny weather just makes people dumber.
Well, let's see how dumb we can get on this week's episode of Flabbergasted by Audacity. Because I'm Jamal.
And I'm Patrick.
And we missed last week, so we have a good boatload of shit to.
However, Jamal, I don't know if you know this.
Yes. This
is episode 100.
Oh wow!
It only took almost 3 years.
3 years.
I think it was 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's around this time. No, we started in March, so we're a little overdue.
I think it'd be 3 years and a bit then. I think.
Yeah. Well, we took one break in the summer, and then we always have our winter breaks, right? So that chews off a couple of weeks, and then just. Your ear, right? So you couldn't do anything for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then we just sometimes scheduling just didn't match up and stuff like that. So we had a lot of hurdles to get over and get through. But hey, we're here. 100 episodes later, we're still here. We're still talking to basically nobody, but we're here. And I mean, I think for me, my word to wisdom is actually really cool. I really think, sometimes you gotta step back and just go, man, humans are fucking cool, man. Like we built some pretty cool shit. I was traveling to Montreal today, and I had to take the La Fontaine Tunnel, and I got to finally take the new tunnel. I didn't know that it was already open.
Is it done?
But yeah, well, one of the sides is done. Now they're working on the other side.
Okay.
But I was just driving through it, and I was just kind of like looking around, going, "Fuck!" Like, we're pretty good, man. Like the tunnel looks really nice. It doesn't look like it's about to fall apart anymore. I like how they did the lights on the inside. And I was like, "Fuck it! This is what's gonna look on the other side." Like, you know what? pretty good, man. Like it looks pretty cool. I was like, okay, no, this is nice. This is really nice. So it was a very cool experience to go through it, and I'm excited to see when they like like really like finish it. Like get like completely done.
Yeah, well,
So I
there's
thought
a
that
lot
was
of
pretty cool.
structures like that where it's incredibly impressive. Like you think like the Burj Khalifa,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
tunnel that goes underneath that fucking river in England.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I think it really is cool that like we have all that. Today we will be doing too much politics, at least on my side. Like when it comes to like bills and stuff like that. I have like some funny politics stuff, but I just have like I just had stuff in general. But we gotta start off with this, Patrick. Do you know what month it is?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's my favorite
It's-
month, and I'm so
yeah,
happy. You know why,
it's
Jamal?
why?
Because it's Pride Month, and almost, I want to say at least 2/3 of most companies just aren't doing it anymore, which is great to see, finally.
No, Patrick, you're forgetting.
Am I forgetting?
It's Men's Mental Health Month, buddy.
Well, that's what I'm talking about that too, because usually
Yeah.
it's Pride Month,
doesn't
right?
exist.
And we just make fun of it. But
Yeah.
this year it seems to have dropped off by quite a bit. You still see a
Yeah.
few companies here and there kind
Yeah,
of
but
spouting
not
that
as big.
BS, but for the most part, I've seen, like you said, more men's health, and
Yeah.
a lot of people are pushing for like a Veterans Month, essentially.
Yeah, I heard about that too. Yeah, I think it's good. I really think it's good. I think they had their fun. I think it's time for a fucking. It's a big issue. Like Pride, I get it. Like okay, I think now like we've done enough bills and laws. You can get married to whoever the fuck you want to get married to. You can change your sex as many times as you fucking want. I was looking at statistics. It's about a guy a minute that is killing themselves, basically.
Jesus Christ.
If those statistics are correct, they're saying it's almost a guy a minute, which is wild. Every 60 seconds, some guy's committing suicide because of he has no one to talk to. There's not enough good just areas to speak about and to go about. And I saw this TikTok, and I am so glad that some women are understanding the importance of men's mental health. There's a TikTok that I saw of this woman where the caption says, "Me during Men's Mental Health Month," and she's just dancing and she's like woo woo every 2 seconds. The hatred that this woman received, and it's well deserved, might I add.
Well, that's what I
Very
was
well
gonna ask.
deserved.
Is she dancing
Yeah.
because like, oh, they're dying, or
Yeah, basically, yeah. She's like, I think something like, me during the minute of silence for like men's mental health. She's going woo woo every 2 seconds. The amount of hatred she received in the comments was so severe. She had to delete all her social media. She then tried to make a new account, and they found her. And they continued. So now she's completely off social media right now. This woman.
That's good.
It's so well deserved, and I love. The men went a little overboard. I'll be honest. Like there's some guys in there like going like I hope you get raped. I was like okay, like relax. But like there was just some stuff in there going. I think one for instance he goes, you dance. She was dancing like it's like you dance like you have at least 500 bodies, and I was like, wow, that's a good one. One of them said I could smell your pussy from here. One of them said go get back in the kitchen.
I saw real quick. I have to touch on this. I saw a meme today. So good. They said potholes typically form every season. It's natural, but they grow larger and larger for every car that drives over them. And eventually, when the pothole gets so big, everyone avoids them.
Yeah.
This is the same with vaginas.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. That's pretty good. I like that. No, so I just honestly I found that very funny, and I'm just glad that it's being taken more seriously because it's true. It's a really it's a big stigma, So I'm glad that like
Well, that's the thing. It essentially went too far, where it's like because when did Pride Month even become a thing? Do you know?
I couldn't really tell you exactly when. I want to say it's been more dominant since I want to say like 2017, 2018.
That's what I was thinking
And
too, like 2015 and later. Definitely.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, to a certain degree, I understand. At that time, there was no rights, right? You couldn't get married. now you got your rights, you're good. Like let's move on
Now
to something that
let's shut the fuck up and just continue.
you know, it's like, and I think now we need to look at a different topic, and I think that's a topic that we have to look at is the fact that the men's mental health is not being not respected per se, but it's like I just don't think there's enough talk about it.
I would say it's kind of ignored in a way because I haven't seen anyone specific like when I say anyone I mean like corporations and shit, because for Pride Month they would put up banners and logos and messages and commercials, whereas for like men's mental health or anything like that they just wouldn't do it. So I think
you're right.
It's a giant contrast in that sense, because you feel like everyone makes the meme like, oh, for this month this company is gay, and it's essentially true. Yeah. Because they don't give a fuck the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, it's weird. I'm hoping that like this continues, and I'm gonna be checking next week about maybe I can find some good feel good stories about men's mental health or bad stories. To be honest, I've been really interested in this Reddit forum called Guy Cry. And some of it's really depressing, but some of it's actually like really beautiful. There was one story that really touched me. I didn't get to save it, but I remembered it very vividly because of just how much I was like, wow, that's such a beautiful moment. Basically, this dad, he's a single dad, and his son has been practicing, I think it's violin. I think I think it's violin or guitar. I can't remember which instrument. Anyways, he had been practicing at school, and his dad had never really heard him. Like, he only heard him once, and it wasn't very good. But basically, he had practiced and practiced and practiced, and he performed at his school and just killed it. Just fucking nailed the solo. Everyone was clapping, and he goes, for him to see me in the audience made him feel like, wow, like, the dedication that my son put in to get on the stage and to do this is beautiful. And now his son is wanting to take private lessons to get even better and better at playing guitar. And he goes, I've always been proud of my son, but in that moment, he goes, I felt like I succeeded in something. And I was like, that part was the part that I was like, fuck, you know, like to be a man of probably around 40, 45, to feel like you've not succeeded in anything, but seeing your own son succeed in that, and for you to feel that success, I think is beautiful.
Well, I don't know the exact quote you're referring to. Yeah. But in terms of like, because you think of your everyday successes, right? Like, you get like a new job, a promotion, something like that. You make your steps, you make your progress and whatnot, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like seeing your child, whether it be your daughter or son, seeing them accomplish something and do something impressive, especially in front of like a crowd, something and playing music. Like, if I were to see my son playing guitar or violin, because violin can be pretty badass.
Fucking difficult. Yeah, it can be for sure.
I would cry. I would cry for sure.
Yeah, I probably would cry for sure.
To know you produced a specimen that is not only competent enough to apply themselves to something pretty difficult, but to also impress others, that's damn impressive.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. And it was funny because then after that, my TikTok, I was getting like all these like feel good dad videos of like, I think there was one where it was his step daughter had adoption papers that she wanted to get adopted by him to change her last name to his last name, you know, because her real dad was never there. Stuff like that. So I was like, I think those are the moments that we should be highlighting during the month of June for men's mental health and stuff like that.
For sure.
But to get into a bit more sad stuff, the Bay finally closed after being around for what, I think 1867. It's been around.
It's crazy though, because I heard that the Bay was closing, and I was like, you mean that store I would always go into occasionally just to find out everything was super fucking expensive, and I would just leave being like, wow, I didn't know a bed sheet can be like $200 fucking.
Yeah, it's the end of an era. I think it's one of the few like big Canadian companies. I do get what you're saying. I think everything there was grossly expensive during the time that it was closing. I heard that I didn't go, which I should have. I feel like I could have probably got like some perfume at like a stupid discount because everything was 80% off. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's probably could have got like some crazy discounts, but I didn't get a chance to go. I am sad a little bit. I think I know that Canadian Tire bought some rights from the bit. I think the logo they bought or something like that. I don't know. Or Canadian Tire bought something. But Canadian Tire is the last company. Sears, Zellers, The Bay. There's another one I can't remember the name of right now.
When you say the last company, you mean the last like global Canadian company type thing?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Really?
Canadian Tire is the last one.
That's
yeah.
quite sad.
They are the last one. Sears, Zellers, and The Bay were all Canadian, and they're all gone, basically. So Canadian Tire is the standalone last company, and they seem to be doing pretty well, so that's good. But yeah, it's a little sad. A little sad. I saw like I think when what was funny when I was listening to the news, a guy like bought like a mannequin. I don't know. I don't want to know what he's gonna do with it, but the fact that you can buy that is kind of funny. So I was like, okay, I guess cool. I don't really know why or how,
So,
but all right.
Okay, I already know the answer, but I have to ask. If you
Yeah.
if you had to buy a mannequin, what would you do with it and why?
I think if I had to really have to get one, like gun if I had to buy one, I would buy a male similar to my height, so I could put clothes on it to see if it will look good on me. I think that's probably be the only reason why I would use it.
That answer was way too clean and way too logical. I was honestly expecting you to say, so get a female mannequin,
If fuck it, yeah, no.
vaguely Asian, hentai
Yeah,
intuitives, and then
Yeah.
dress it up as the Doki Doki character.
And then get like a pocket pussy and then fuck it. Yeah, I could have went that
Okay,
route. But
I didn't say that. See, I didn't say that. You're fucking disgusting.
well, no, but you're going that direction. But like, I would probably
you
get
don't
like.
have to. You don't have to fuck it. I don't know why you said that. I didn't imply that. I didn't even incentivize that. What are you doing?
If I'm gonna go all the way, I'm gonna go all the way, buddy. Okay, I'm not gonna stop halfway there. If I'm
What
gonna
would your
I'm gonna
girlfriend
dress in
think?
Asian-
Would you hide? Like, how would you deal with this?
I wouldn't have a girlfriend at that point, to be honest with you. I think if I had to do a
I
mannequin
get
like that,
it.
I'd probably be single.
I get it. You don't
Probably
need one.
single.
You don't even need one.
Yeah, at that point, like, why? Why do you need one at that point? You're getting like a fucking mannequin like that, and you're fucking dressing it up and getting the pocket pussy. Nah, at that point, just why get a girlfriend? At that point, to be honest. But
Amen to
but yeah,
that.
basically. Some sad news though. We're gonna go sad, sadder, and the saddest. Right. So sad was Rihanna's dad died. Didn't know he was white.
Care. Wait, what? Okay, I care. Never mind. Go back.
Yeah,
Go back.
didn't
Rewind.
know he was white. I saw a picture of him going. The guy's like very light skinned. I was like, huh.
Well, she
Okay.
herself is pretty light skinned too. So
Yeah,
guess-
but I just didn't think her dad would be like that light. Like I saw, I was like, wow. So sad about him. The Beach Boys, one of the lead singers, who's not on tour right now, but one of the main guys of the Beach Boys, he died yesterday, actually, at the age of I think 87. So that was a little sad. I didn't know about that. But the saddest story, Patrick, is the breakup between Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
what a
What a-
segue! I was not expecting that.
What a fucking sad story.
I have it on my
They-
list too.
Yeah, they parted ways. Eventually, one of these egotistical guys were gonna get on each other's nerves. I knew that was gonna happen eventually.
That's the weird thing, because I was reading early on that he was essentially leaving his post in the in Doge essentially because something about some sort of contract being up, like 100 days or something. And
yeah, I read about that too.
so he
you know,
was
like
stepping
a
out
contract.
just because he had fulfilled his term limit essentially.
Yeah.
To go
Yeah.
and focus on his businesses, and then out of
Yeah.
nowhere, this bill goes through, and he gets
Yeah.
incredibly upset at
Yeah.
Donald Trump, and I was
Yeah.
surprised by how he reacted.
Yeah.
Because from what
I
I
mean-
understand, I don't know if you have anything to add to this, but he's essentially
Okay.
upset because in this newest bill that Trump passed, it essentially
Mm-hmm.
eliminates any and all mandates to have EV vehicles.
Exactly. No, dude, you're exactly right. That's basically what he's doing. Basically, what he's
Okay.
saying is that there's no longer a mandate like there's in Canada. There's still a mandate for Canada in 2035, I think, that you can no longer sell gasoline-powered vehicles in Canada.
That's a fact.
But yeah, in 2035 it's gonna happen. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, in 2025.
Fucking liberals, dude.
So at that point, you will not be there. There will no longer be cars that you can buy brand new as of 2036. So there'll be like no gas-powered car between 2036. I believe hybrid is still allowed because it's still considered electric, but as of 2035, no cars that are gasoline powered can be sold in Canada. Now, you can buy it to 2034. That's fine, whatever. But up until that point, you cannot. So I think they had that in America or something like that. So that bill no longer getting passed. Of course, for Elon being Tesla, it hurts, right? It hurts, right? So I can see why he got upset. I can understand it. But to the degree that they're going at, it's a little crazy.
Well, it's like you said though. I can understand getting upset, but the way he reacted
was a bit much.
It was incredibly feminine.
Yeah,
honestly.
I was like,
like I love Elon. He's a very impressive man, and all of his accomplishments are incredible and astounding and kind of inspirational. Like his project to get humanity on Mars, I think is incredible and is absolutely necessary.
It's big. It's big. It's
big.
a big thing.
It's a great thing. And I was shocked to see how he reacted to this situation.
Yeah, no, and you know, it's interesting because I just wonder where he's gonna go for this. Because here's the thing, and this is the part that's very interesting. He, in some limelight, okay, he's not the president per se, but he's a big figure. He's a very big social figure, and I wonder what he's saying is true, because he was saying that he's the reason why Trump won the election. Now, of course, there's no numbers to back that up.
He had a big part though. He had a
big
massive
part.
campaign towards it. I remember
Yeah,
I saw him on Rogan a month before the election.
Yeah,
Campaigning
so it's
hard for Trump, especially talking about not necessarily conspiracy theories, but ideas of what the Liberal Party was doing and how they were manipulating the public, and how if they win, it might be the end of the United States. Which honestly, I can kind of see. Like, what he was talking about was incredibly drastic, but I can honestly see it being their goal based on their previous actions.
I mean,
So
again,
I can seriously understand it when he says, like, oh, I had a big hand in it, he wouldn't be president if I hadn't helped him. I can honestly see that. It could have gone either way, 50-50 for sure.
I can't listen to him because he drives me insane. It's like Biden all over again. I can't. I know he's autistic, but like I just can't listen to him.
Well, like his
for longer
speech
than 5
pattern,
minutes.
is that what you mean?
Yeah, his speech pattern is just, I can't. But,
honestly, the way he speaks, I think it's like he has very good thoughts, and the way he communicates are good. But the way they come out are good. It's just the spaces in between are awkward.
It's weird.
Because sometimes he'll speak, he'll stop, and it'll be like an awkward silence, and he'll just be like, and then he'll finally talk and be like, okay.
Yeah, no, it's weird. I can't listen to it talk. Again, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. We'll never know, right?
I'm sure, like you said, he's on the spectrum. I have no doubt about that. I have no doubt.
We can agree on that one, you know. But it's like, it's very interesting. I just wonder, where does this go from here? Because, you know, the whole Epstein files, he was talking about he used to get impeached. And I was like, holy shit, like, when I heard about it,
that was drastic. When he said that, I was like, really? Really? Just
I'm like,
for that?
For you to switch up that quick is kind of crazy. You know, like, I hate Trump as much as the next liberal, but I'm going, for you to switch that quickly, to be his best friend, fucking right-hand man, all the stuff, get him a Tesla, all that stuff. And did you hear that Trump's trying to sell his Tesla now? Did you hear about that?
Actually?
Yeah, he's trying to sell his Tesla. It's like really funny. So now it's just like a petty boy war.
Yeah,
but whatever.
It's like two child best friends fighting.
Yeah,
you know? I'll give away your toy.
Yeah, basically. So then transitioning into that toy scenario, into like two playground children fighting. Did you hear what he said, Trump, about the whole war in Russia and Ukraine? I forgot who he had in the White House. I think it was a leader from Africa. I know it was a black guy. You know, the fucking parade of people going to the White House and getting fucking either being Mark Carney and getting out of there alive, or being Zelensky and getting fucking torn apart. And this guy kind of met in the middle. He was like halfway, kind of got torn apart, halfway didn't die. But there was a part in the White House, and I'm going, I don't know if Trump understands the gravity of the situation. Is he trying to downplay the gravity of the situation? This is live. You can find it online. This is from his own mouth, so there's no chance for me to be like, oh, maybe it's the media screwing the story. He said, Ukraine and Russia is basically like two children in a park, basically. And what he's saying is that um, the event sometimes you have to let the kids fight. You have to let the two kids battle out, and then when one gets too intense, then you have to pull back. And I'm going, for you to go to that degree, for you to make it seem like it's just a normal thing, is a bit scary. It's a fucking war.
Well, wait.
You're-
Are you paraphrasing, or is that a direct quote?
If I had to if I'm paraphrasing, probably not a lot. I know what he said was, Ukraine and Russia are like two kids in a playpen. It's two kids at a park, and they're fighting. And sometimes there's nothing that you can do but let them fight. That I could tell you is what Trump said. If the words are in the exact order, no. But I know those are the exact words that he said because I listened to it myself. But how do you feel about that? Because I feel like the gravity of the situation should not revolve around the fucking metaphor of two kids in a park.
That is weird because I remember I don't remember when this was, but at one point he referred to the Ukrainian versus Russian war as essentially he just wants to end it to prevent people on either side from dying.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the words were exactly, but it was some interview, and the interviewer was asking like, who would you like to see come out on top, and he said, I don't care who comes out on top, I just want to see people stop dying. And that really resonated with me. So if you were to say something like along the lines of what you're saying, it just seems odd.
Like I said, you can look it up. Maybe I'll look it up for next week. But the other thing too is, and this part's also just interesting. It's the fact that he had said all that, cool, whatever, fine. But if we go back to when he was running for president, and I know that we're gonna fight on this topic, he had said he could end the war in 24 hours. He had said that, right?
Yeah, that was that.
We agree?
Yeah. I think I don't know if he said 24 hours, but he definitely said like a very short time period.
He said 24 hours. I can
was
tell
like,
you.
Press X for doubt.
Yeah. Like, I can tell you right now, he said 24 hours. I remember that was the main thing that we spoke about. The war's still going. You know, and I'm not seeing enough people be on his ass for that. If you promise that, and I think he does have the power to end it. I really think he does have the power to end it. Really, truthfully, I really think he does. Then do it. The fact that you haven't done it throws me off. I'm like, you said that you were gonna do it, so then do it. You know.
So that would be nice, but it's like at the same time, because when he said that, I initially was like, that's kind of like it's like a big if true kind of thing. I was like, that'd be cool.
For sure.
But I have big doubts for that because that's.
I understand that.
It's like, how do you end a war in 24 hours?
In 24 hours, I don't know. But what
he
I'm
had
saying
that
is
meeting. He had that meeting, right? And it didn't go very well.
No, it did not. So I'm going. For me, I'm going. If you're like, I get it. Every politician is gonna promise some shit that it's fucking, like I said, the big if true or press X to doubt. But to that gravity, like. Think before you speak. If you would have told me I can get the war done, I can end the war within a year, I'm like, okay, that looks plausible. That I can see being a
much
possibility.
More realistic, for sure.
For sure. You know, so like I'm just going. We're not calling him out on that, and I'm just trying to figure out why. Unless there are some liberal media pages that have been calling out on it, I just haven't seen it. But as far as I can tell, there's been no one going, hey. This guy said he get in the war in 24 hours. He's been in power for how long, and it's still going on? Like, what's going on? That's just my take on the whole situation. I did forget. I did write a quote. This is a direct quote from Elon Musk himself that he had posted on Twitter. He said, "Elon Musk has hit President Donald Trump's signature tax and spending bill, describing it as a disgusting abomination." In a wide rift between the two, the tech billionaire posted on X, and this is quoted by him, that the bill would add to the U.S. budget deficit and saddle Americans with crushing debt. The budget, which includes huge tax breaks for more defense spending, was passed by the House of Representatives last month, and now to be considered by senators. Shame on those who voted it, said Musk, hinting that he may try to unseat the politicians responsible at the next year midterm election. So now he's gonna try and get rid of people in the White House, basically. So Musk is almost like fucking hitman for hire, in a way, if you want to think about it.
Well, in this case, though, because I have heard a lot of stories coming out about certain people, especially judges, and I would assume other people on the Supreme Court, who would essentially, they would get some sort of law to come by their desk, which ultimately sounds like a net positive, and they would just rule against it. And everyone would be like, why the fuck would you do that? That's kind of sus. Yeah. So if Musk were to say something like that, it depends who he's specifically talking about and for the reason.
I don't know.
But at the same time, he doesn't have any sort of power where, I mean, I guess he'd essentially campaign against a certain person or people, right?
Definitely could, but you know what, Patrick? Money talks, dude. Money talks. You never know. You might tell, hey, listen, for 10 grand, just look the other way on this particular bill.
Well, okay,
you never know.
I think that's been an ultimate problem with, especially the American government, and it seems to have come up in the Canadian government too. We've seen
for sure, 100%.
That fucking app last year or something.
Yeah, right? Fucking Arrive Can.
It is definitely a possibility. I would hope.
Yeah.
I would hope.
I hope it doesn't happen.
To God that he would not be that kind of person. Because it comes to the point where it's like, essentially, you could get the idea in mind, like, oh, the enemy side, or the opposing side rather, is playing dirty in that they're paying people off to get certain things passed, right? And so he can get in his mind, I'm the good guy, and to get what I want, maybe I also have to play dirty too and end up paying people off, but you might be wrong, or you might not have the right judgment on the situation and you end up paying people off. Getting what you want, but it ultimately being bad, you know? Yeah,
so we're gonna see. I'm curious to see how this continues down the line.
Jamal, the ultimate question is, how do you get politics to function without greed?
No, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I think, we have to just put the trust in that the people that we put in power are in our best interest, right? And sometimes money and situations arise, and next thing you know, they're doing shit that you don't want. And unfortunately, there's not what you could do but vote them out next time. You know, like,
that's the thing,
it's crazy.
I've heard a lot of people talk about term limits, but then it's like, if you have a term limit, we'll say, for example, 3 years, I guess you would have to have a pretty decent pay, right?
Yeah.
To compensate, because otherwise any multimillionaire, billionaire can buy you out for your votes or whatever power you have, right? So how do you compensate for that kind of greed? And that's essentially, it's like, how do
it's tough.
It's tough. I don't think it's possible. It's
and not only that, but it's like even like, I'll give you like a much smaller version, because this happened to us. The Montreal casino banned us for 2 years, right? Because there was alleged that we didn't speak enough French and stuff like that. Next thing you know, we're losing gigs left, right, and center because Lotto Quebec runs the casino and we do other gigs for Lotto Quebec. All of a sudden, we're not getting calls for certain gigs. Put it in a grand scale of things. Let's just say a fucking head of a company like Nestle or something that owns like 25% of other big companies. They want you to pass the bill and you're the president and you don't. Next thing you know, your sponsors are out the window. You've lost half your sponsors. Maybe now that trip that you're going to book with your family isn't going to happen because Nestle goes, oh no, you're not going. You want to use one of our planes, it's not going to happen because you didn't pass our bill. It's like this trickle-down effect of like, you have to side with people and they give you stuff, you almost have no choice. You know, it's almost like sometimes I always feel like the president has no power because they're being so influenced by everything else that they can't do anything, you know?
Yeah,
well, so it's going to be interesting.
That's been a constant, did we talk about, I've touched on it a few times, the shadow government.
Yeah,
and it's been a constant of the idea of big oil.
Yeah.
There's a conspiracy theory, because the electric engine was invented before the internal combustion engine.
Okay.
It's an insane thought. How is that? Like because you have the steam engine.
Yeah.
Electric, and then internal combustion. Yeah. How is that the internal combustion came to outrun electric, when electric was like, it wasn't perfect, cleaner. Obviously. But the fact that it's cleaner, it could have been more efficient given if they invested more into it. But there's like this big thing where like people involved in it who were pushing hard for it got assassinated essentially,
Yeah.
unalived if you will, under shady circumstances. And so you're constantly questioning like, with all this money behind it, are they just going out of their way to prevent other things from popping up and taking away from their income?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Because it's a definite possibility.
Yeah. It's scary. It really is scary.
Yeah. Wait, real quick though, just to close out with that whole Elon versus Trump thing.
Yeah.
I think I vaguely understand it, because if you look at it this way, Elon goes into politics hoping to do better. He creates Doge, hoping to save millions, potentially billions, and he has saved billions from what I've seen. And your businesses take a hit. You saw all those protests and vandalism, riots against his company Tesla, right?
Yes.
And even SpaceX not getting the coverage it deserves with its what do you call it? The rocket reusage.
Yeah.
Which I've seen multiple videos. It's so fucking cool what they're doing.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
It's amazing.
That part's pretty cool.
If it was done by anyone else, it would be headline news. You would see so much about it. Full-on documentaries, hour-long specials. You ain't seeing shit because it's him. It's a fact.
No, you're right. You're right.
And so for him to take all these hits, getting dissed left and right by the media and a good majority of the population, and then Trump turning around and being like, we're gonna cancel your EV mandates. Well, not necessarily your EV mandates, but EV mandates in general, which is a big part of Tesla.
Yeah.
I think at that point he was like, well, I've lost so much and I've given so much. I think he just snapped from that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can see why you get upset, but I'm just going...
The way he reacted is...
yeah, it's like, it's like, okay. Like, I get it. He's not having a good time, fine. But to react the way you did, it's a little childish. But I get you. I can see why he's mad. I'm not saying he has no reason to be mad.
Yeah.
I can see why he's mad.
If only he had, like, a wife who he respected enough that would just take away his phone and be like, I need you to cool down. I'll give your phone back when you're calm. You know?
Exactly, right?
That type of thing.
Yeah. But, moving on I just had two funny stories here. One, I saw a video of a man proposing to his wife in front of a tornado. I don't know how American you want to get, but that's fucking American as hell. It's so funny. It's like fucking wind showing up. He's just, baby, there's a tornado. Just kneels down, marries her. I'm like,
it makes me think of the Back to the Future skit in Family Guy. You remember?
Yeah, it's like,
Doc, I have to tell you about the future. And it's so fucking loud that he's like, there's no possible way you could hear him.
Yeah, no, I found that very funny. Now, this is very interesting, a little scary, very interesting, and it comes with a story. So, I've never used ChatGPT. Never used it.
Neither have I. But we're not in school, so we don't really need it that much.
However, though, I was talking to my buddy Daryl. He's going to LA, and he says, have you ever tried to make an itinerary with ChatGPT of what you should do in LA? I was like, no. He's like, listen, just try it. Okay. Download the app, give it a shot. I was talking with her, listen, I'm going to Vancouver with my girlfriend during November. And what happened was I forgot to put November. I just put I'm going to Vancouver. And they gave me all these things to do like in the summertime. I was like, oh, sorry, no, I'm going in November. Like, oh, okay, let me change it up for you. And they gave me like a 7-day itinerary of things to do. And it looked pretty good. I was like, oh, fuck, like this is actually like pretty impressive. You know, like you even put like your budget and stuff like that. Anyways, for that type of stuff, I think it's pretty useful. Anyways, regardless of that, I saw yesterday, and this is very interesting. So, can ChatGPT be your doctor? So there've been people. Dude,
I've heard horror stories where people go to doctor's office, telling their shit, and the doctor's like, "That's probably nothing," and then he just turns around on his computer, and this person looks over his shoulder, typing in the ChatGPT, what are these symptoms? And it's like, oh my fucking god.
So
that's terrifying, honestly.
So it's terrifying, right? So basically, what they've been saying is this: doctors have ran through the app, right, and have done, you know, these symptoms to try to see. ChatGPT has answered with 31% accuracy. They've got it right 31% of the time, and have got it. We're clear with what they should have 34% of the time. So nowhere close to like passable, right? only 31%. But what's scary to me, of course, is this younger generation is taking the advice of ChatGPT over their doctor. That part is freaking me out because I'm going, I get it. I understand that, especially in America, if you're not insured, you have no health care, it's very expensive to go to the doctor. I understand that. But to trust an open AI source to that degree, like I've seen TikToks, I'm self-diagnosing myself with bipolar disorder because I asked ChatGPT with my symptoms and it lines up. Are you fucking stupid? Are you fucking stupid? Because I'm going, there's no way I'm gonna let a fucking AI determine what I have until I see someone who fucking practiced medicine. You know, like.
Well, that's the thing.
How do you...
It's like I just said, because the idea of quote unquote professionals using ChatGPT isn't quite new. You hear about professionals using it, doctors and whatnot, and it's at this point where it's like, at some point they're just gonna be replaced by some sort of AI where you just type in your fucking your symptoms and they'll be like, oh, you have this, or you most likely have this. We'll test for it, you know. And
I mean, I don't mind it helping. I don't mind helping, but don't take it for face value.
Yeah, well,
like,
it's probably, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago where I realized, oh shit, my doctor is just a person like me, and they fuck up too.
Yeah.
I'll give an example. Jamal, last Friday, I had an appointment for my fucking ear. She goes, everything's good. I'm just gonna put some fucking spray in there and clean it out. Bitch cleans it out the next day. I swear I have an ear infection. And I was like, how the fuck does that happen the next day after you just cleaned it? And I'm upset about that. I'm genuinely upset.
For sure.
I had to put fucking ointment and cream in that I got from my surgery, just so I didn't get it, like, it didn't get worse, right? And I'm like, how does that even happen? You clean it out, you're a professional, and the next day I have an infection? How the fuck? I can't. How do I trust you? How do I trust what you're doing at that point?
Yeah.
Fucking let a robot do it if you're gonna fuck it up that badly.
Well, that's my last thing. That I've been seeing been some like new operations done by robot to eliminate human error. That part I agree with. You know, I think, you know, it's like the fact that we're able to do that is good. It's a good sign. It's a good step towards not having these human errors in these life and death situations. You know. So, no, I agree. I definitely agree. And it sucks. It definitely does suck. But did you get a lot of ear infections when you were a kid or no?
When I was a kid, no. It's since my ear problems, I've had a lot of... I typically get an ear infection 1 to 2 times a year because of my shitty ear.
So basically, when I was a kid, I had them basically every year, if not every 6 months. I think it's just it's like a rite of passage when you're getting older that like you'll go through like these ear infections. But I was going, well, just catching up for time lost, Patrick. But no, that would piss me off.
I've had my fair share, and this is retarded. It's never happened like this before. Typically, I would get like either water in my ear, or I just like you touch shit with your hands and then you have an itch.
Yeah, no, I know that feeling.
And because of the way my right ear is, it's not very protected against that kind of thing. Because with my operation I had 10 years ago, it's made it very susceptible to infection. So I try to be careful, but I can't do everything. And it's pretty much inevitable that I get 1 infection a year. And then my doctor says, with this surgery we did I guess it was a month and a half ago. With this surgery, you should have less infections less often. And I was like, cool. And then she gave one herself, and I was like, all right. That's cool, I guess.
All right. Yeah, all right. I love that. That's funny.
Yeah.
But besides that, the only last thing that I had was I watched that last season of Big Mouth.
Are they still going? I thought it was canceled.
Yeah. No, well, it's done now. Now they ended it. It was a nice ending. I liked how they ended the show.
But how many seasons was it then? Because I watched the what the fuck?
Yeah,
dude, that's crazy. Because the first season or so, I heard about it pretty often, and then it just dropped off. So I assumed it was canceled.
I gotta say, it got worse. But I gotta say, the last 2.5 seasons, were better. And like I felt like they had that like that moment where I was like, okay, guys, boy, like these are not very good episodes. But as it got towards the end of it, I was like, okay, no, these are good. There was like some fucking funny moments in there for sure. And I liked how they ended. I think they did a really good job with the ending, and I think it's one of the few times where I'm like, you know what, good time to end. Really, just a solid time to end, not drag it on too long to where it's no longer fucking good anymore, you know. So I was like, that's a good time to end it. You guys did a good job, ended there cool. So, no, I was very impressed. I like how they ended it. I was very happy with the ending.
What even happened? Because I remember I stopped watching when that kid
To make a long story
impregnated
short,
a pillow. That's when I stopped watching. I was like, this is too retarded. I don't get it. I don't want to watch it anymore.
so basically they go to high school after middle school, and in high school, you know, they're learning about, you know, just how big the kids are, because they went from middle school to high school, so the kids are bigger, they're dealing with bigger problems. One girl gets addicted to like pot, and basically all the kids are just trying to find their niche, basically, like what are they good at, what do they want to do. One girl joins like the robotics program. Nick changes high school because there's another guy wants to brag about how rich he is, and then when Nick doesn't want to help him, he gets pissed off at him. So it's like the ending, to sum it all up, is on the last episode they go back to middle school because they hear that the school is gonna get torn down, and they're reliving the memories through the hallways basically, and there's a big bright light, and that is the future, right? And how the future can be scary, you know. And they all go, you know what though, like I think it's time for us to go into the future, and you know, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. And the thing is that they're reaching the end of puberty, so the hormone monsters stay behind to now take on new kids, because once you're done with your puberty, you no longer need your hormone monster at that point, right? So they move on without them, and you see they all go into the light, and as they go into the light, their characters become undrawn. So you know how you draw like just a couple circles and you add some more details and then you add the coloring? It's the opposite effect. So then they go from no colors to just a couple of lines until they're nothing, and they go into the future until it's bright light, and that's how the show ends. And they have that song, ooh, watch out, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, watch out, things will get brighter.
So you mean the song
So, like,
called Ooh Child?
Yeah. I don't know how to name the song. So yeah, so it was. I think it was a nice ending. It was a very nice ending. Oh, but I have a fun story to end it off. Do you have anything else before we end it off? Because it's like a true story. I think it's pretty fun. Do you have anything else?
Yeah.
No? You
yes,
did?
Yes, yes. Calm down,
Yes.
slut.
Sorry.
Episode 100. We got this. Calm down. Alright. Have you been excited? Oh, actually, this is a dumb question. Were you excited to go and see more Marvel with your father?
What movie came out? I don't remember. What movie
Well, no, actually, it's the opposite. It was supposed to come out. Now it's been pushed back a year.
Oh, really? Which movie was that?
Avengers Doomsday.
Oh, no, I...
When
Okay, no, I didn't...
when they brought Robert back. As
Yeah, no, I didn't...
fucking
Doctor
villain.
Doom, yeah. Yeah, I didn't hear about it,
Yeah,
so...
they pushed it
I
back,
had-
and I was like, huh, I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know that they pushed it back. I didn't know it was gonna get released. So the fact that they
Yeah.
pushed it back is crazy.
It was
so,
supposed to be
alright.
later this year, like November-ish.
Yeah.
And
I doubt
it's
that,
got pushed
yeah.
back to 2026 minimum.
Okay.
And it's crazy because everyone's like, well, there's like no build up. You had build up for Kang with that black dude, but then he beat his girlfriend, and the movie
Yeah.
didn't do well doing for the build up. So they just like,
Yeah.
we'll just forget about him. Moving
Yeah.
on. And I was,
Yeah.
everyone's like, what? Okay. Anyways, so what's going on now? And they're like, oh, we got
Yeah.
Fantastic Four coming out. By the way, nothing anyone likes about Fantastic Four is in it. Silver Surfer is now a woman. Which no one really likes. And by the way, the leader of the Fantastic Four, the smartest character in all of Marvel,
It's Pedro Pascal.
It's Pedro Pascal, and he's pushed aside, and he's not even the leader of the Fantastic Four, but Sue Storm is, which is a weird-looking white lady who I've never seen before, but supposedly everyone says she's a good actress. Press
I
X
guess
to
we're gonna
doubt.
find out.
By
Yeah,
the way,
we're gonna-
Johnny, you know how fun he was in the original 2005? I don't know, 2005 Fantastic Four, played by Chris Evans before Captain America?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not like that, because he's not allowed
Yeah.
to womanize or be quippy. Hey, you know how the thing was kind of sympathetic and kind of cool looking because he used a what do you call that? A practical effect suit. Well, now he's a CGI abomination with a shit voice that doesn't fit at all.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I know.
Now Marvel's been cooked. They are cooked, and they will continue to be cooked. And I don't. At this point, just stop. Just give up for a decade and try again. Just stop.
I'm gonna see what the Man of Steel is like. I wonder if DC is gonna do any better since like their whole like reset. I think that's
I'm so upset, bro. I can't. I was for the longest time I've wanted to see a Superman movie that lived up to like the heart and spirit of the 70s movie, but just elevated by the effects and just essentially the potential that modern filmmaking can offer, and they just dropped the ball in every aspect. Like, have you seen the trailer for it?
I saw like one trailer, but we'll talk about it more next week. I gotta end this soon. We'll tell this quick story, and then we'll talk about. I do want to talk about more Marvel and superhero stuff. I have some Nintendo stuff to talk about, but we'll save that for next week. That'll be good. But I have a little short story to share. I did a gig Tuesday in Mont Blanc, and it was for this American company. Near the end of the show, a guy came by and put like a bill near like my dad's foot as like a tip. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And like other people started putting like their bills in there. I was like, oh fuck. I'm seeing like about 20 bills of money, American money. I'm like, oh fuck, okay, cool. Like maybe there's like a couple ones in there. Maybe I can get like, $20 like per person. So during one of the last two songs, my dad goes, hey, pick up the money so we can take it. I'm like, okay. Patrick, I leaned down, I saw 100. I was like, oh, what? I saw 100, 100. We got tipped over $888 in American.
So naturally, you're gonna start taking tips every single show.
Fuck, I was like, yo, I was beside myself. I was like, who the fuck is this company? Cause I want to work with them. Fuck. And like, they were just dropping it off. It was like nothing. Like, oh yeah, here's like a. Guys are fucking crazy.
Yeah,
but,
because typically the venue just pays you, right, and that's it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we were getting paid like nicely for sure. So I was already happy with the pay, and the food was fantastic. I had filet mignon, cooked well. Everything was really good. The food was really nice. The soup was great. And then I was like, fuck, yo, these guys are fucking crazy. What the hell? So, no, very interesting Tuesday for me for sure. But yeah. But anyways, I gotta get going. This is Flabbergasted by Audacity. I'm Jamal.
And I'm Patrick.
And we'll see you guys next week.
The decision rests with you.